Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Muskritya Naram Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayesh Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 12, the cleansing of the Gundicha temple. Text 74 onwards. So Mahaprabhu has reached Gundicha temple and he has asked King Kashi Mishra and others, superintendent of the temple, if he can clean the Gundicha temple. परीक्षा कहे आमी सब सेवक तुम्हारा ये तुम्हारा इच्छा से कर्तव्य हमारा. Upon hearing the Lord's request for permission to wash the Gundicha temple, the Padicha, the superintendent of the temple, said, "My dear sir, we are all your servants. Whatever you desire is our duty to perform." विशेष राजा राज्ञा हया छे हमारे प्रभु राज्ञा जय से शीघ्र करिबारे. The king gave a special order for me to do without delay whatever your lordship orders. तुम्हारे योग्य सेवा न है मंदिर मार्जन एक लीला कर जे तुम्हारा मान. My dear Lord, washing the temple is not service befitting you. Nonetheless, if you wish to do so, it is to be accepted as one of your pastimes. किंतु घट सम्मार्जनी बहुत चाहिए आज्ञा देह आजी सबाई हानि दिए. To wash the temple, you need many water pots and brooms. Therefore, order me. I can immediately bring all these things to you. नूतन एक शत घट शत सम्मार्जनी पड़ीचा निया दिला प्रभु रिच जानी. As soon as the superintendent understood the desire of the Lord, he immediately delivered 100 new water pots and 100 brooms for sweeping the temple. आर दिन प्रभाते लाया निज गण श्री हस्ते सबार अंगे ले पीला चंदन. The next day, early in the morning, the Lord took his personal associates with him and with his own hands smeared sandalwood pulp on their bodies. श्री हस्ते दिला सबारे एक एक मार्जानी सब गण लया प्रभु चलीला पानी. He then gave each devotee a broom with his own hand, and taking all of them personally with him, the Lord went to Gundicha. Gundicha mandire gela karite marjan prathame marjani laya karila shodhan. In this way, the Lord and his associates went to cleanse the Gundicha temple. At first, they cleansed the temple with the brooms. भीतर मंदिर ऊपर सकल माजीला सिंहासन माजी पुनः स्थापना करीला. The Lord cleansed everything inside the temple very nicely, including the ceiling. He then took up the sitting place, Simhasan, cleansed it, and again put it in its original place. छोटा बड़ा मंदिर कहला मार्जन शोधान पाछे तैछे शोधिला श्री जगमोहन. Thus the Lord and his companions cleansed and swept all the temple's buildings, big and small, and finally cleansed the area between the temple and the Kirtan hall. That is called Jagamohan. चारि दिक्के शत भक्त सम्मार्जनी करे आपने शोधेन प्रभु शिखाय सबारे. Indeed, hundreds of devotees were engaged in cleansing all around the temple. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally carrying out the operation just to instruct others. प्रेमोल्ला से शोधेन लयन कृष्ण नाम भक्त गण कृष्ण कहे करे निज काम. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu washed and cleansed the temple in great jubilation, chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna all the time. Similarly, all the devotees were also chanting and at the same time performing their respective duties. धूलि धूसर तनु देखिते शोभा, कहाँ कहाँ अश्रु जले करे समर्पण. The entire beautiful body of the Lord was covered with dust and dirt. In this way, it became transcendently beautiful. At times, when cleansing the temple, the Lord shed tears, and in some places, he even cleansed with those tears. भोग मंदिर शोधन करी शोधिला प्रांगना सकल आवास क्रमे करीला शोधन. After this, the place where the deity's food was kept, Bhog Mandir, was cleansed. Then the yard was cleansed, and then all the residential quarters, one after the other. Actually, nowadays, when we go there, we don't go and clean every place. We just clean the temple. And then more and more devotees are coming. They are pouring water. I mean, pretty much everybody who goes to Jagannath Puri for Rath Yatra, they have to go and cleanse the temple. And then we just clean the temple only. Not even the ceilings or the walls, just the floor we keep on cleaning. But here Mahaprabhu cleansed everything. तृण धूलि झिंकुर सब एकत्र करिया, बाहिर वाशे लाया फैलाया बाहिर करिया. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu collected all the straw, dust and grains of sand in one place, he gathered it all in his cloth and threw it outside. Ei mat bhakta gan kari nij vase, trin dhuli bahire phailai parama harishe. Following the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the devotees in great jubilation began to gather straws and dust with their own cloths and throw them outside the temple. Prabhu kehe ki kat kariya che sammardana, trin dhuli dekhi lai janiva parishan. The Lord then told the devotees, I can tell how much you have labored and how well you have cleansed the temple simply by seeing all the straw and dust you have collected outside. सबार ज्ञानटान बोझा एकत्र करीला, सबा haite prabhur boja अधिक हाइला. Even though all the devotees collected dirt in one pile, and the dirt collected by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was much greater. Ei mata abhyantara karila marjana, puna sabha kare dila kariya vantana. After the inside of the temple was cleansed, the Lord again allotted areas for the devotees to cleanse. Sukshma dhuli trina kankara sab kara dura, bhala mate shodhan kara prabhura antapura. The Lord then ordered everyone to cleanse the inside of the temple very perfectly by taking finer dust, straws, and grains of sand and throwing them outside. सब वैष्णव लया यबे दुई भार शोधीला, देखी महाप्रभु मने संतोष हाइला. After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Vaishnavas cleansed the temple for second time, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very happy to see the cleansing work. So first they cleanse, remove all the gross dirty things, means the sand and whatever. And now second time when they're cleaning, they cleanse all the sukshma things, very minor things. Are shat jan shat ghate jal bhari, prathamai laya ache kal apekshakari. While the temple was being swept, about 100 men stood ready with filled water pots, and they simply awaited the Lord's order to throw the water from them. जल आन बलि जब महाप्रभु कहिला, तबे शत घट आनी प्रभु आगे दीला. As soon as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called for water, all the men immediately brought the 100 water pots, which were completely filled, and delivered them before the Lord. Prathame Karila Prabhu Mandir Prakshalan, Urdhva Adho Bhiti Griha Madhya Simhasan. In this way, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first washed the main temple and then thoroughly washed the ceiling, the walls, the floor, the sitting place, Simhasan, and everything else within the room. Khapra bhariya jal urdhve chalaila, sai jale urdhva shodhi bhiti prakshalila. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself and his devotees began to throw water onto the ceiling. When this water fell, it washed the walls and floor. Shri Haste Karen Sima Saner Marjana Prabhu Age Jal Ani Deya Bhakta Gana. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to wash the sitting place of Lord Jagannath with his own hands. And all the devotees began to bring water to the Lord. Bhaktagana kare griha madhya prakshalana nija nija haste kare mandira marjana. All the devotees within the temple began to wash. Each one had a broom in his hand, and in this way they cleansed the temple of the Lord. Keha jala ani deya Mahaprabhu kare, keha jala deya tar charana upare. Someone brought water to pour into the hands of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and someone poured water on his lotus feet. So they were doing Abhishek of Mahaprabhu also. Keha lukaya kare sai jalpana, keha magi laya keha ane kare dana. The water that fell from the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was drunk by someone who hid himself. Someone else begged for that water, and another person was giving that water in charity. Devotees find their ways to get the Charnamrit. Ghar dhui pranalikaya jal chadi dila, sei jale prangan sab bhariya rahila. After the room was washed, the water was let out through an outlet, and it then flowed and filled the yard outside. Nij vasra kaila prabhu griha sammarjana, Mahaprabhu nij vasre majila simhasana. The Lord mopped the rooms with his own clothes, and he polished the throne with them also. Shata ghata jale haila mandira marjana, mandira shodhiya kela yena nijamana. In this way, all the rooms were cleansed with 100 water pots. After the rooms had been cleansed, the minds of the devotees were as clean as the rooms. Nirmala Sheetal Snigdha Karila Mandire, Apana Hirdaya Jaina Dharila Bahire. When the temple was cleansed, it was purified, cool and pleasing, just as if the Lord's own pure mind had appeared. So the temple was cleansed, and so is the minds of the devotees. This is what happens when we cleanse the temple of the Lord. Shat shat jan jal bhare sarovare, ghate sthan nahi keha, kupe jal bhare. Since hundreds of men were engaged in bringing water from the lake, there was no place to stand on the banks. Consequently, someone began to draw water from a well. So that lake is Indradimna Sarovar. It is not next to a temple. It is little far, maybe half a kilometer, but devotees were lined up and they were bringing water. Purna kumbha laya aishe shat bhakta gana, shunya ghat laya yai arashat jan. Hundreds of devotees brought water in the pots, and hundreds took the empty pots away to fill them up again. Nityananda Advaita Swarup Bharati Puri, Iha Vinu Are Sab Ane Jal Bhari. With the exception of Nityanand Prabhu, Advaita Charya, Swarup Damodar, Brahmanand Bharati, and Parmanand Puri, everyone was engaged in filling the water pots and bringing them there. Ghate ghate theki kat ghate bhagi gela, shat shat ghate log tahalaya aila. Many of the water pots were broken when people collided with one another, and hundreds of men had to bring new water pots to fill. Jal bhare ghar dhoya kare hari dhwani, Krishna hari dhwani vina arana hi shoni. Some people were filling the pots and others were washing the rooms, but everyone was engaged in chanting the holy name of Krishna and Hari. So they were not gossiping or joking. So when somebody had to ask for the water pot, he would say, Hari, Hari. The other person was giving the water pot. He would say, Hari, Hari. And this is how the whole service was going on. Krishna, Krishna kahi kare ghater prathan. Krishna, Krishna kahi kare Ghata Samarpan. Or they were saying Krishna, Krishna. One person begged for a water pot by chanting the holy names, Krishna, Krishna. And another delivered a pot while chanting Krishna, Krishna. Jai Jai kahe sai kahe Krishna naam haila sanket sab kaam. Whenever anyone had to speak, he did so by uttering the holy name of Krishna. Consequently, the holy name of Krishna became an indication for everyone who wanted something. प्रेमावेश प्रभु कहे कृष्ण कृष्ण नाम एक ले प्रेमावेश करे सब जने काम. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was vibrating the holy names of Krishna in ecstatic love, he himself was performing the work of hundreds of men. Shat haste karenjena shalan marjan pratijan pashe jai kara shikshan. It appeared as though Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were cleansing and washing with 100 hands. He approached every devotee just to teach him how to work. Bhala karma dekhi kare prashamsan, mane na milile kare, pavitra bharsan. When he saw someone doing nicely, the Lord praised him. But if he saw someone was not working to his satisfaction, he immediately chastised that person, not bearing him any grudge. तुमी भाला करिया शिखाया नेरे मत भाला करूं से हो जे न करे. The Lord would say, you have done well. Please teach this to others so that they may act in the same way. Means that for those who are not doing that well. यही कथा सुनिया सबे संकुचित है भाला मते कर्म करे सबे मन दिया. As soon as they heard Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say this, everyone became ashamed. Thus the devotees began to work with great attention. Tabe prakshalana kaila Shri Jagamohana Bhog Mandiradi tabe kaila prakshalana. They washed the Jagmohan area and then the place where food was kept. All other places were also washed. Natyashala dhui dhvila chatwara prangana Pakshala adi karila pakshala. In this way, the meeting place was washed, the entire yard, the raised sitting places, the kitchen, and every other room. Mandirera chaturdik prakshalan kaila sab antapura bhala mate bhayoila. Thus, all places around the temple were thoroughly washed within and without. Hinakale Godiya ek subudhi sarala Prabhur charana juge dilaghat jala. After everything was thoroughly washed, a Vaishnava from Bengal, who was very intelligent but simple, yet simple, came and poured water on the lotus feet of the Lord. Sei jal laya apane pan kaila, taha dekhi Prabhur mane dukh rosha haila. The Gaudiya Vaishnava then took that water and drank it himself, seeing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt a little unhappy and was also outwardly angry. Yadyapi Gosai tare haya che santosha dharma sanstapana lagi bahire maharosha. Although the Lord was certainly satisfied, he became angry externally in order to establish the etiquette of religious principles. शिक्षा लागी स्वरूपे दाकी कहिला तहारे देखा तोमार गोड़ियार व्यवहारे. The Lord then called Swarup Damodar and told him, just see the behavior of your Bengali Vaishnava. Ishwara mandire mor pad dhoyaila sei jal apani laya bhana kaila. This person from Bengal has washed my feet within the temple of the personality of Godhead. Not only that, but he has drunk the water himself. Ei aparade mor kaha habigati tomar godiya kare eteka paijati. I now do not know what my destination is because of this offense. Indeed, your Bengali Vaishnava has greatly implicated. Now Prabhupada explains. It is significant that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Swarup Damodar Goswami that the Bengali Vaishnava was your Gaudiya Vaishnava. Now, what does that mean? This means that all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas who are followers of the Chaitanya cult are subordinate to Swarup Damodar Goswami. Mahaprabhu told him, this is your Gaudiya Vaishnava. The Parampara system is very strictly observed by Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal secretary was Swarup Damodar Goswami. The next group of devotees was the sixth Goswami, then Kaviraj Goswami. It is necessary to observe the Parampara system of the Chaitanya cult. There are many offenses one can commit while serving the Lord, and these are described in the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Hari Bhakti Vilas, and other books. According to the rules and regulations, no one should accept obeisances in the temple of the Lord before the deity. Nor is it proper for a devotee to offer obeisances and touch the feet of the spiritual master before the deity. So when the darshan is open in the temple, in the temple, outside is okay. Inside the temple, one should not offer obeisances to anybody, not even to the spiritual master. This is considered an offense. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was personally the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, it was not actually offensive to wash his lotus feet in the temple. However, because he was playing the part of an Acharya, the Lord considered himself an ordinary human being. He also wanted to give instructions to ordinary human beings. The point is that even though one plays the part of a spiritual master, he should not accept obeisances or permit a disciple to wash his feet before the deity. This is a matter of etiquette. Although one can say the deities were not there. Lord Jagannath was still not there in Gundicha Temple. But Mahaprabhu wanted to teach a lesson. And through this Gaudiya Vaishnava, he's saying your Gaudiya Vaishnava. Means all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they come under the protection or service of Swarup Damodar Goswami. And further on, six Goswamis and so on. Now, Swarup Damodar Goswami, who is he? He is Lalita Sakhi in Krishna Lila. So in this way, it's also explained, Gaudiya Vaishnavas can have, it depends on the mood, they can have two roles to play at the same time in Golok Vrindavan, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Lila and simultaneously in Krishna Lila. Both the Leelas are going there, Nitya Leelas, even in Golok Vrindavan. So Gaudiya Vaishnavas can be part of both the pastimes. Tabbe Swarup Gosai Tara, Ghade Hat Diya, Dheka Mari, Puri Re Bahe Rakhile Nalaya. At this point, Swarup Damodar Goswami caught the Gaudiya Vaishnava by the neck and giving him a little push, ejected him from the Gundicha Puri temple and made him stay outside. Puna Asi Prabhupaya, Kari Lavinaya, Agya Aparadha Kshama, Karite Juyaya. After Swarup Damodar Goswami returned within the temple, he requested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to excuse that innocent person. Tabe Mahaprabhu mane santosha hai, sari kari dui pashe sabare vashaila. After this incident, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very satisfied. He then asked all of the devotees to sit down in two lines for both sides. Apane vasiya majhe, apanar hate, tarana kinkar kuta, lagila kudaite. The Lord then personally sat down in the middle and picked up all kinds of straw, grains of sand, and dirty things. Kekat kudahe sab ekatra kariba, yar alpa tar thai pitha payalaiba. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was picking up the straws and grains of sand, he said, I shall gather everyone's collection and I shall ask whoever has collected less than all the others to pay a fine of sweet cakes and sweet rice. So all about Jagannath Prashadam. Ei mata sabapuri karila shodhana shitala nirmala kaila jaina nijmana. In this way, all the quarters of the Gundicha temple were completely cleansed and cleared. All quarters were cool and spotless, like once cleansed and pacified mind. Okay, I guess we can stop here. See anybody have any questions or comments? Okay, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Jai